Hi K12s. So today for math, we are going to do a special activity in honor of Morse Code Day. Morse code was developed in the 1800s by Samuel Morse as a way to communicate with people without using a lot of power. So unlike a phone call, which takes a lot of energy to get it up to the power lines and through to the person you're trying to reach, Morse code is very simple and efficient. It can be sent via the radio, which uses a lot less power. You can do it with sounds or with writing, and it's used a lot it was used a lot during wartime, but now it's also kind of just a fun thing to do. So we are going to start by writing just our first name, just so that we kind of familiarize ourselves. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So this is the alphabet in Morse code. Morse code is made up of dots, as you can see, and then dashes. Each dash lasts about 3 times the length as a dot. So I'm going to knock on the table and you'll hear I'm going to do an A. It would be something like this. Here's a dot, and then I kind of let it go a little bit longer. So for example, I'll do the B. It'd be a longer tone, and then 3 short ones. And then C would be, you can see C right here, would be longer, short, long, short. If I have an instrument, which I'm going to get, if I have an instrument, you can really show how the length of it varies. So for example, here's an A with I'm just using a guitar, and I'm not even holding down any notes. I'm just gonna play it. It'd be, you can see how one was longer than the other. Here's B. Here would be C, a longer note. Then short, long, short. So you can kind of hear it there as well. Okay, so now that you can see the alphabet and kind of get the idea, I'm going to write my name. My name is Lily, and my name's kind of easy because most of my letters are actually the same. I have an L, then I, and then I actually have 2 more L's, so that's 3 total. So I'll just write 3 tally marks so that I know. And then a Y, Lilly. So when you do this, I suggest you having this page up, which is on the Google Doc, and then on a notepad, you can look at this as you're writing your name, because you do not need to memorize this at all. So now that I see this, I'd write it down in my notebook. I did it on this, oops, how do I, sorry. Okay, so those are the letters I need to know. So then I wrote it down here. So you can see I made each letter a different color just so you could see it. So here's the L, it's dot, dash, dot, dot. I is 2 dots. Another L, dot, dash, dot, dot. Another L, dot, dash, dot, dot, and a Y, dash, dot, dash, dash. So from here, I would see how I would write my name, and so you can do that. Your name might be shorter than mine, longer than mine. None of you are named Lily, so none of yours are going to look exactly like mine. But using mine as an example, I would add up how many dots I have total and how many dashes I have total and do some math using that. I might ask myself, which do I have more of, dots or dashes? And how many more do I have? For my first name, just counting them, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 dots in an L, And so if I have 3 L's, that's 3, 6, 9 total. Then I add in my I have 2, 9 plus 2 is 11, and in Y I have 1. So I have 12. Let me find. So I have, oops. Oh, here we go. So I have 12 dots. And then dashes, I have 1 in L, so that's 3 because I have 3 L's. And then in Y, I have 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So I have 3 dashes. So if I were to ask how many dots and dashes do I have in all, that in all that I said implies that we will be adding, because I want to get all of the dots and dashes together. So a number sentence for that, if I want to add my dots and my dashes, I could say 12 plus 3 equals, I have 12, I'm going to grab the number 12 and add 13, 14, 15. So that equals 15. What if I said, how many more dots do I have than dashes? Well, if you have 3 and 12, if you look up at me in the little square, you'll see I'm gonna find 3 on my number line and 12 on my number line. And the difference between those is that space between. So imagine a number line, you have 3 down here, I'm gonna say 12, it's not all the way over here, but it's not right next to 3, it's about here. And that space between, so I need to start at 3 and count up to 12. That's a strategy. So I know that 3 plus 2 equals 5, and I'm gonna highlight, or maybe you would circle. 3 plus 2 equals 5, and then from 5, I want to get to 12. Remember that. I'll draw a little 3, and we're going to count all the way to 12. So 3 plus 2 equals 5. That gets me to about right here. And now 5 plus 5 equals 10. That's getting me to 10. Remember, we're counting up to 12. Now I'm about right there, and then 10 to 12 is just 2. 10 plus 2 equals 12. So I've added 2, 5, and 2. That's how big each of my jumps was. This jump, you can see my mouse, the jump from 3 to 5 was 2, from 5 to 10 is 5, and then from 10 to 12 is 2. So I have 2, 5, and 2. Well, I know 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. So the difference between my dots and my dashes is 9. I have 9 more dots than I have dashes. And that's interesting. I wonder if you have more dots than I do or less, or if your difference is bigger than mine or smaller. It's pretty interesting because few of us are going to have exactly the same. I'm gonna unshare my screen so you can see me again. Hi. So that's generally how you do this. I only did my first name. For you all, you can do your first name, you can do your first and last name, you can throw in your middle name if you have one and make it really challenging. You can also ask your family, or you could do your friends' names. I even wrote on the lesson that you can extend it and try and write a sentence. I really enjoyed messing around with the guitar, trying to make things. Let's see, if I were to do an L, it would be dot, line, that takes longer, dot, dot. And I'm no guitar pro, but that's kind of fun. Maybe you have a stick and you want to get outside and hit like drums and try and write the Morse code. Or you have another instrument, maybe you have a little maraca, you can shake it for however many dots and dashes there are. There's plenty of things you can do. Once you write whatever you want to write, don't forget to please add how many dots and dashes you have all together, and also find the difference between them. And please show your work. I was on a computer, so it's harder to show my work, but you could still kind of follow along. If you're writing it in a notebook, that's going to make it even easier. Can't wait to see what you do, and I can't wait to see how you celebrate Morse Code Day. Thanks. Have a good one.